What are some really good icebreaker questions? In this video, I'm going to share the template for one of the best icebreaker questions that I know of that you can take and adapt to your own context, as well as 21 of my favorite questions that I think do a phenomenal job at creating conversations that matter and skipping past the surface. I'm Chad, and after watching this video, I hope that you never have to experience a crappy icebreaker ever again, and that you experience icebreakers that really allow people to meaningfully connect. I love talking about icebreaker questions. My partner and I wrote a book called Ask Powerful Questions, Create Conversations That Matter, and so in this video, I'm gonna share the best of what I know. Let's get into it. Right off the bat, as promised, the template for one of my all-time favorite icebreaker questions is right here. What is one of your favorite stories about? Camping. 5th grade. Fill in the blank. And in fact, the question works best when you fill it in with something that is specific to your context. The best icebreakers connect people to each other, but also to the purpose of why you're there. So think about the purpose of the gathering and simply fill in this question. And as an icebreaker, invite people to break out into small groups, share their response to this question. And the reason it's so effective is that brains are wired to love stories. The other thing is, when we tell stories, all we have to do is tell the truth. Some of the worst icebreakers are things that ask you for hypotheticals, like if you were an M&M, what flavor M&M would you be? If you could have any superpower, what superpower would you have? The reason that I don't like these is because it doesn't actually help people connect to each other's experience, perspectives, ideas quite as good as a story can. And so a question like this, in a very safe way, invites out and encourages people to tell stories rather than answer with like ideas. And so it really connects people well to each other. Now, for these 21 questions that I promised that you can download, one in the link in the description is the place to download those for free. They all come from a deck of cards called We Connect Cards, which I created and is now being used in 100 countries around the world. All rooted in this idea that when we change our questions, we drastically change our conversations. And so the cards have a bunch of questions that look like this. So what's a personality trait you admire in others? What's an interesting skill that you have? What is the best, worst, or funniest job you've ever had? Questions like this are really disarming. They ask people to bring in some of their own experience to share. And so there's 21 examples. You can also download them as Zoom virtual backgrounds. So if you're meeting virtually and you want to pop up a screen behind you, you can have that happening right there. So those are all free and downloadable. I believe that information should be free, and so I want to give away as much of it as possible. So sure, the deck of cards costs money, and there's a link in the description, but you can also get about half the deck totally for free, and you can print it, you can use it digitally, however you want to. And something to know about the deck is I didn't just, randomly create these 60 questions. They're actually very brain-based and research-backed. Back when I was a nerd, I actually published an academic article on how I came to these 60 questions in the deck. And so they are 60 of the most effective questions at skipping past the small talk and breaking the ice, building meaningful connection and trust. Now, if you've stuck around to this point in the video, I want to share one characteristic, because sometimes the best icebreaker questions are ones that you generate that are perfectly fitting for your group. And I can't be the best person to answer that question or to give you that question. And so the characteristic that you need to know about really great icebreaker questions is really great icebreaker questions do a good job at moving people from a mindset of knowing to a mindset of learning. Typically, when we meet people, we enter with, especially if we are meeting with people that we've worked with for 6 months or a year or 10 years, We enter with this mindset of, I know this person, and it's really, really hard to get to know more about someone when we're in this mindset. And so think about any question you ask, ideally should put people in this mindset of learning. It's the reason that questions are so impactful. It's the reason that Will and I created a book all about asking powerful questions, because when we change our questions, we completely change our conversations. It was awesome hanging out in cyberspace with you. I hope you have an equally awesome day. If you liked this video, you should actually click this button down there, but also you'll love the other resources. And so please go download a digital version of the deck at the link in the description below, weand.me/free. Have an awesome day.